Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
Check
Hello.
check, mic check. Oh,
All right, but welcome everyone to the very first Sweet and Sour podcast. I am your co-host Dominic. Dom.
hello. I'm Jen. I'm sweet. He's sour. We are.
I didn't think we made that abundantly clear who was sweet or sour. I'm pretty sure I'm the sweet one.
It's clear right now.
I don't know about all that. But today we're going to start off by talking about
Us, ourselves,
and how we met, everything like that. When we originally met. How do you think was the first time you and me met? Because it might be different from what I remember.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
I don't.
That's not a great start.
I don't really remember. I think it was just a traumatic experience enough for me to block it out of my brain because I don't remember our very first meeting. I remember when we met back again in high school, but I didn't realize that we went to elementary school together.
Okay, so
my memory is kind of fucked.
You have no you have no recollection of ever meeting in elementary school.
I have maybe the faintest recollection of elementary school, but that was so long ago. Meeting Dom is trauma. That is facts.
That's really not. But no, from what I remember, we did go to elementary school together.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's one core memory that I do remember was that you used to live around the same neighborhood as me.
Yeah.
used to live
I
around
do
here as
remember
well.
that.
But there was this one time where we were hanging out, and then we walked into your basement, and then you showed me this big ass TV, and then you turned on Kingdom Hearts for the first
The
time.
big box one,
Yeah,
right?
I think it was that gigantic box.
Yeah.
It was fucking
Okay.
massive, though. It was as big as the fucking wall. I feel like I remember that.
Yeah. I still had that TV up until junior year of high school. It was crazy.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's a long ass time.
Yeah. So I remember that.
But yeah, you literally only played the Kingdom Hearts theme song, and then you kicked me out of your house, is what I remember. And then I went home after that.
All right.
Because after that, I don't remember ever talking to you again, because we had the same third grade class, I think. I think we were in the same third grade class.
Well, I moved around a lot when I was younger. So
Right,
I think I went
yeah.
to a total of maybe 3 elementary schools. Maybe that's why my memory is a little bit foggy because I went to so many schools and met so.
Yeah.
But we moved around a lot.
Because I remember meeting you then, and then for some reason in middle school, I did remember you again for some reason, and then back in school we had those little chat logs. They made us log into the school I don't know. It was some weird email thing. But I remember we were able to look up other students from different schools.
Oh,
was
the campus one, right?
Yeah, I think it was the Infinite Campus shit or something like that. But I remember because I looked up your name specifically, but
You're so creepy. Why would you fucking do that?
I don't remember. You were the only person I did that to. But literally, I think that because I messaged you. Because I was able to message you for some reason. And then, I remember, logging back in high school in, sophomore year, and you replied to that message. Because you're oh, really? I was I don't know who you are. I'm okay.
I remember.
Yeah,
no,
no.
I remember. Dude, Infinite Campus is stalker's paradise. You could literally, if they were in the school system, in the whole district, you could look them up on this site. And you could it was just like Facebook, right? You can direct message them. It was really creepy.
Yeah, it was really weird. I also feel they didn't really imagine any kids growing up to be weird stalker people.
She definitely doesn't remember. I literally just said that I don't remember. Stop exposing me. I said I don't remember.
Jen for sure has brain damage 100% at this point in life.
Yeah. Probably.
But yeah, then I think because I didn't see you again
Until high school.
Yeah, I think we met again freshman year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But was that when you met Aaron already again? Or was it when... Were you hanging out with someone else? I don't remember our first meeting in high school. I know...
No, I was hanging out with Brian. Like that
Okay,
was
that
my
might
like
have been
me,
it.
Bryant,
Okay, that might have
Yenny,
been
that
it.
group, and then they were hanging out with like you, Rolf.
I hung out with Bryant, and then obviously I went to school with like me and all of them. So that was like,
Because I have a lot of pictures and memories and stuff like that on Facebook, and it was like you, me, Bryant, Chris. So I think Bryant was our bridge.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Hi, Jazz.
Which is crazy because I knew Bryant from a long time.
Really?
Yeah, because my mom knew his mom, and we used to play. Me, Bryant, and Andrew used to play together all the time, like as kids.
Oh,
And I
so
did.
like when you were like little kids.
Yeah, when we were like we didn't go to school together or anything, but we just used to hang around because our moms used to.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Then at some point in my high school, my mom worked for your mom.
I don't remember that either.
You don't remember that?
No.
There's one time you guys like remember because we went to go camping.
Nebraska?
When we went to Nebraska. And then your mom came over and
Yeah,
then she
yeah,
talked
yeah,
to my
yeah.
mom, but my mom like somehow knew your mom, and then you told me you're like, oh, my mom worked or your mom works for my mom. I'm like, what the fuck? That is the most random shit ever.
Yeah.
So I think our lives have always kind of
Overlapped.
been intertwined through like our entire lives.
Actually crazy. I've known you for more than half my life.
Yeah. That's about right. I think I
How
know.
unlucky
I think
of me.
I'm lucky, first of all.
Unlucky, bro.
I'm probably the blessing in your life.
Holy.
And thankfully for you, Tony became the blessing
Hi,
in my
Jazz.
life.
Wait, what?
Nothing, but...
What you say? Huh? Excuse me? Freshman year of high school, this was when like YouTube was just starting out as a thing, right? Like everybody was trying to be a YouTuber. This was like early YouTube days.
Tumblr shit.
Yeah,
YouTube,
Tumblr, YouTube, like MySpace was still a thing. I have like a vlog style video of all of us hanging out, and you guys were playing horse, but with skateboard tricks.
Oh, that's
And
skate.
it
No,
was-
we're playing skate, not fucking horse. Like,
Oh, is that what it was called? Son of a bitch.
you hung out with us long enough to... I feel like you should have known that at this point. And I think the main thing that you guys should know that about all of that was I didn't really want to hang out with Jen.
Oh, shut the
She was
fuck
just
up.
there. She was
Do you
absolutely
see the
just
disrespect? First of all, fuck you.
there. Nothing to say because it's true. On God, yeah. No, Jen was always there. I think up until at least junior year because
Some
did-
shit happened, okay? Some shit happened.
well, we'll keep it sweet and short. But she dated one of my friends, and then she dated my other best friend. But they were
Wait
also
a
best
minute.
friends as well. So at least Jen was there the whole time, but not with the same person.
We love a good homie hopper moment. Okay, first of all, the first friend. Okay. If we're getting into the tea. If we're getting into the tea, okay? Listen closely. The first friend cheated on me for like 5 months.
I did not know that.
He like cheated on me the whole time we were together. First friend cheated on me for like 6 months straight with the ex that he broke. So bad. The ex that he broke up with. And then after he broke up with her, right, he started dating me, but then he ended up cheating on me for 5 months with that girl that he broke up with. Fucked up is that? First of all.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that happened until after. Yeah, that first friend he already had the title of man whore from middle school. So the
That just
first-
excuses it.
it doesn't excuse it, but you should have known better. But I guess you also didn't know him up
I
until
did,
high
yeah.
school.
What the hell?
So if I knew you were gonna date him, then I probably would have told you. But then you already were going through all that, so I was like, all right, well, you know what?
And then anyways, it was a really bad breakup, and I ended up dating the other friend, and we actually dated for a while. It was
It's a
like
good while.
a year, I think.
Did you date the first guy for that long?
8 months.
8 months? You remember that?
It was a very rough time in my. Okay, you guys ever have like your first love, right? Your first like actual like what you think is actual love, and like, okay, minus Dom. This was
Subtract me out of that equation.
This was like my first like real love, because like I was in high school, like I feel like I was grown up, and like I met this guy, and like we did a bunch of stuff that was like my first and his first, or so I thought was his first, and so I thought I was in love. Why are you laughing? This was very traumatizing for me, okay? And the way that I found out is we were just hanging out, like all of us friends, minus the guy, because he was off doing something. He wasn't there. So it was all just us friends. And so the second guy is the first guy's best friend. And how I found out was he got a text message, and then the second guy was first guy's best friend, but was also a really close friend of mine. And so he got a text message, and he was like, yo, can you grab my phone for me? And I fucking grabbed his phone. And the message alert literally said, I think it was like, it was a message from the first guy, and I think it was something like, oh yeah, me and he name drops the girl that he was cheating on me with. He goes, oh yeah, me and her are like doing great actually. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? So I asked him, and I was like, what is this about? Like, why are you talking about her and stuff? And at first he was just like, he was so stunned. Like he couldn't speak. Like he was just like, And I was like, bro, like, can you just answer the question? Like, this is kind of serious. And he goes, okay, like, I can't really like explain to you the situation, so I'm gonna just let you read our messages. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm reading the messages, and it's just them back and forth, like, oh, like, how long have you guys been like back together? And he was like, oh, it's been like 5 or 6 months now. And I was like, holy shit, like 5 or 6 months? Like, why don't you just like break up with a bitch, you know? Instead of doing that. And
That's
so
crazy.
after,
What the fuck?
you want even more tea?
Sure. I mean, we're already on
Me and the girl, okay? Me and the girl were actually on the same volleyball team.
Oh, right. I do remember that.
On the same team. Because you know how in high school you have like separate, like D team, C team. Yeah. So like you don't really see each other if you're on separate teams.
Varsity,
we were on the same team. And we had a game that day that I found out. So I found out the morning, had a game that night. We had a game. I did bad in the game. So I was already pissed off. at the fact that that whole thing was happening. Got even more pissed off because we lost the game. And so I was just pissed off.
That'll also make it really hard for a high school student to lose your fucking game.
And you know what's even worse? After the game, we were done with in the locker room, and I was not gonna confront her. Okay, I was not gonna confront her at all. He shows up. First guy, the guy that I'm currently dating that is cheating on me with the girl, shows up. And so, like, in my head, I'm like, did he show up for me or did he show up for the girl?
The fucking delusions going on in your head probably at the time was probably.
And so just seeing him pissed me off. Like, it was the cherry on top. And I was already annoyed, so I was trying to ignore him. I was trying to give him like the cold shoulder. And he said something. I think he was like, why are you giving attitude or something like that? Something stupid. And I just lost it. I just lost the nerve, right? The gall, dude, man, holy shit. I just lost it. I was like, you know why the fuck I'm acting like this? And then she was like, it was something out of a drama, I'm telling you. It was something out of a Korean drama. She comes out right at that moment that we were arguing. And so I was like, when were you going to tell me about you and her? And I was like, if we're going to do this, like, I'm going to confront both of you right now. And then she goes, and then she comes out and she goes, like, don't talk to him like that. And I was like, who the fuck are you to like sit here and try to budge into our argument? Like, you're the other woman. Like, you're the other bit, like, you're the side hoe right now. And you're literally going to jump into this argument and try to like defend him, the cheater.
Right.
And I was ready to throw hands. But then my best friend at the time, he actually, because I shoved her, and then the coach was coming out to see what was going on, because we were like screaming at this point in the middle of the hallway with like everybody there. And then I shoved her, and then Tristan came over, and then he pulled me off because he was like, yo, like, you're not trying to get like suspended right now. So I walked away, and I ended up punching a locker, and I think I like dislocated something because my hand the next day was like really swollen. Dramatic.
So dramatic.
That's dramatic. The only reason why I was gonna fight her is because she inserted herself like into our argument and was defending him. That was my only issue, because I wasn't going to confront her at all. I was going to just confront him and then break it off and then call it good. But she had the nerve to come out and defend him because she knew that he was cheating on me. And it really, like, going back to the first love thing, it really broke me. Like, that rest of the year, like, I was in and out of school because I just could not keep it together. It was really, really bad. I had to go to counseling. I had to go with therapy.
Yeah, I didn't know you did all that after.
Yeah.
Because it kind of seemed like, honestly, yeah, on the outside, I guess I wasn't really like in that deep on your guys' relationship. But I didn't know you had to go through like all that therapy and stuff too, because after...
Well, it was hard. It was hard because, like, even though we hung out together, because I was in IB and you weren't, we were in school, like during school hours, we were in separate worlds. We did not cross paths at all.
I went through general education like a dumbass.
But we did not cross paths at all. We didn't have any classes together.
That's true.
We didn't have...
I would always see you either in the hallway or before or after school is typically how it always went down.
And it was rough because, like, I would, like, break down in class and then they would send me home.
Okay.
Like, they would send me to the counselor and then send me home. And then after that, they were like, you know what? Like, it's okay. Like, we'll write you a note or whatever from the counselor. Take a week and, like, go to therapy. Like, it was bad. It was really, really bad.
So school sent you to therapy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I would go to school because I didn't, like... I don't know if you have this issue, too, because, like, since we're Asian Americans, like, I don't really talk to my parents about like traumatizing things like that. I don't really confide in them. So it was really tough because my older sister wasn't around all that much. Yeah. And I didn't have anybody to talk to. It didn't seem like
you guys had like the closest relationship with each other either, but I also can feel for that. All right, keep going though.
But I didn't really have anybody to talk to. So I'd be like fine at home, get to school, I would see him or see her or something like that because they dated. They went back into their relationship as soon as that fight was over. I guess we all just assumed that we were breaking up, and then they just next day holding hands, making out in the hallway. I was like flabbergasted.
That is a very traumatizing experience to like have.
Yeah, and then to see them like right after.
With your first love, technically too.
Yeah.
What's even crazier is that we still all kind of hung out, regardless after that. I mean, because. When you started dating Guy 2, how soon after did you start dating Guy 2 after you broke off with Guy 1? Because that I felt... Because did we go to Nebraska and you guys were together then?
No, we weren't together.
Okay. So
it was a couple months. If I'm clearly not okay, do not ask me if I'm okay. It makes it worse.
I'm already crying. Tears coming down my face.
I'm
face
like,
red, puffed out of shit.
I'm holding on by a thread, and you're gonna ask me that? It's like just taking scissors and.
Oh my god, that's fucked.
No, but have you had your first love, or what you thought was first love?
I feel like I have that all the time, especially because
all the time. Oh, are you a love bomber?
I am. I don't say I love you that often, especially now growing up. I think I did it a lot when I was growing up. Like, I think I probably dated in high school probably like 5 or 6 people, like 5 or 6 girls, and then 2 of them I said I love you to. But the first one I was in a relationship with for at least a year, and we were dating prior to going to high school. But then once we got there, Oh my god, that's a fucking. She cheated on me, but during all of that, like, it was a really weird situation because like we would always be like at lunch and stuff together, and she was like the first girl I did like a lot of stuff with too as well. Even like to the point to where like we were like making out on like the tennis courts, and then like I was grabbing her ass or something.
Oh shit!
And then like the teacher comes up to us, he grabs me and he's all like, "Okay, it's okay if you guys like kiss and stuff, but we don't want people driving down the road seeing you guys do all that stuff and to be touching like that." I'm like, okay, well that fucking sucks. And literally after that, we stopped like touching as much, and then we ended up breaking up because she cheated on me with like one of my like elementary school friends from like all the way back in the day. And I was like, what the fuck?
How did you find out?
Oh, I think he was the one who told me, but he started being an asshole to me, which was weird. Because the day it happened, I was super, like, when she broke up with me, I was super sad about it. But he was the one who, like, he walked up to me one day, and he was all like, "Hey, man, just to let you know, she's been, like, talking to me for a while." But he said it, like, in a very, like, aggressive way, like, he wanted to fight me. And I'm like,
oh, like,
okay.
That's my girl now.
Yeah, he's like, "That's my girl." And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. I'm super sad, so I'm not going to talk to you right now. And then he writes me, like, 6 paragraphs the same night about how he's going to beat my ass.
Oh, no.
And that he's going to, like, fuck her and shit. I'm like, bro.
Okay.
Can you leave me alone? This is, like, fucking, this is not okay. I am, like, not okay right now. And this... I don't know. I want to say that was not love, but I definitely felt like strong feelings for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think my senior year of high school was like probably the first time I actually ever felt that I was like in love with a girl.
Mm-hmm.
But then I found out she got a train ran on her, like the night after prom. So I'm gonna say I have never been in love, but like. That was the most horrific story I've ever heard, ever. And then I was just, like, done with, like, relationships for a good long while.
Wow, that escalated so fast. That is not where I expected the story was gonna go. Oh, wow.
It was fucked up. It was fun, because, like, prom night was fun. I thought we had, like, a really fun night at prom.
But how did you deal, like, after hearing about that?
Which one, the train?
Yeah.
I kind of just blocked it out of my memory for a while.
But you just broke up with her like right after hearing that, or?
Yeah. No, 100%. Like after prom, she was like kind of like being a bitch during prom too. Like we're having fun, hanging out.
Oh, so you guys were still dating?
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah. And then it was fucking.
I didn't just cheat on you.
Yeah, because I heard it that night that happened. So like literally after prom, I took her home early. Because we were supposed to, like, I wanted to be there all night with all my friends and stuff. We were, like, dancing, having, like, a good time. And then she wants to go home early, so I take her home after, like, an hour at being prom.
Uh-huh.
I take her home. I go hang out with Wen and Ben. Because they wanted to trip acid that night. So I drove them around. I was like, okay, well, I'll take you guys. We'll go downtown and go get some, like, food and stuff.
Yeah.
And then literally later, her friend, like, the girl's friend messages me and says that.
Her friend outed her?
Yeah, because like she thought I was like a nice friend. Like
Question for you.
What?
So say you're in a situation, your friends are dating, right? You're friends with both the guy and the girl that are in the relationship. Okay. And you've been friends with them before they started dating. If one of them were to cheat, would you out them? Would you snitch?
That's funny because I'd have gone through well, I guess it wasn't really like that. So what happened was friend 1 actually found out. You're the first boyfriend that you had. Mm-hmm. We were both hanging out in the hallway one time. And then he saw our friend, because it was a girl. She's like really like, she was a color guard and what the fuck else was she doing? But okay, sorry. She was basically... like she was my best friend. I've known her since like elementary school too.
I know who you're talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then out of nowhere, friend 1 comes up to me. He's like, "Bro, I think I saw her boyfriend just kiss someone else.
Well, were you friends with the boyfriend too?
Not really with the boyfriend.
Okay, that's
but we
not
didn't,
the same situation.
Yeah, it's not the same situation, but we didn't out the guy because what he told me was that he didn't know if it was true because I didn't see it, obviously. He came up and told me about it.
Okay, so
but
say...
I wanted to tell her about it.
So say you know that it's true. You know for a fact.
I would tell her. Well, if I wasn't friends with both of them...
You're friends with both. What do you do?
I feel like they'd have, like, the right to know, too. If they don't plan on telling each other that they cheated on each other, then I would have to tell them at that point. Because obviously I'd give them the ultimatum, you tell them first or I'm going to tell them, is usually how I would go with that.
Ultimatum. I like that.
So if they didn't tell them, then I would at the end.
I think I would go the same route, honestly. That's tough. Getting cheated on is tough. I feel like that's like the #1 heartbreak.
I think so.
I feel, right? Like,
because it's so easy to do. I think cheating is probably like the easiest thing people can do. And with this day and age too. Unless you're ugly.
It is also very easy to not do it. Don't be
It's super easy not to do it, but I don't know. People grow up different. You can't accidentally cheat. Yeah, you can't accidentally cheat.
There's no accidents about it. So how do you feel about like cheating when under the influence? Like, oh, like that excuse, like, oh, I was drunk. Like, I didn't know what I was doing.
I don't know. If you're under the influence, I feel it's still not okay. For sure. But, I mean, you can't really control what you're doing when you're under the influence, too, you know? Like, it's not an excuse that you cheated still. But if you come out and that you were honest, that you didn't know what happened, I think it's like...
But is it excusable? Like, what do you do then? If you're the other person, say you're the other person, they cheated on you, but they were drunk. Do you forgive them? Do you break up with them?
If you keep doing it, then yeah, you break up.
If they keep doing it, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, oh, I just keep accidentally cheating. I'm so sorry. It happened again. Oopsie.
If it honestly happened only one time, I mean, going
Could you
out,
forgive a one time?
If they never did it again, like, if I can guarantee that they'd never do it again, ever again.
But how do you guarantee it?
That's what I'm saying, because you can't guarantee it. I don't think it's okay, it's excusable in the first place. So I guess that's where the consensus comes down to. There's no excuses for it. I guess it's also like who you're around to. Sometimes, like, if some people just let it happen and influence you and say, hey, it's not a bad idea, or they don't stop you from doing it, then... yeah, I think you just break up with that.
So then how do you feel? Sorry, I keep coming up with questions because conversation is like making me curious of what other people think. But so say your friend is a cheater.
Right.
You don't know the girls that, like, obviously. So say like friend #1, right? You as a man.
Right.
So for example, like you know somebody that's a manho. What do you say to them? Do you try to, like, keep them from being a manho? Like, do you call them out and expose them? Or do you just let it happen because they're your friend?
Now, I would absolutely stop them from trying to be a manho. Especially, because friend 1 now, he's, like, obviously in, like, a great relationship. And, like, I think he's definitely learned from, like...
Debatable.
I think he has.
I'm
He's
biased.
learned a lot from you.
I'm biased.
You're biased because he was a piece of shit to you 100%.
That's
but
all
now,
I know for.
like, he's like 100% like okay now. I would have back then not have called him out on his shit at all because I let him do it. I kind of just because I didn't. I obviously didn't. But like throughout everything I've been through with him, I don't think I've ever been someone to really ever say don't do that. Because everything we ever did was together. So we were always doing, like, the same shit together. So everything was a yes for both of us. Because it was always, like, that thing where it's like...
Were you, like, scared of disagreeing?
Not really disagreeing, but I was always just kind of, like... That was the point where I was kind of, like, coming out of my shell, finally. Like, I finally, like... Me and him have always been friends since, like, elementary school. But that's when, like, we were, like, going on... like to skateboard and stuff together. We would ditch classes together to go skateboard. We would go after school. We would go to the skate park, hang out, do all that shit. We weren't doing drugs or anything, obviously, but we were just like influencing each other to do dumb shit together. and it was comfortable for us because we never like got in that much trouble until we got arrested for like having airsoft guns in a park. But other than that, we weren't like ever getting in trouble for anything. We were just hanging out, doing whatever.
I'm the type of person, I've lost a lot of friends or like cut off a lot of people because I'm the type that just, I don't really have a filter, and I don't say things to be nice. I say, like, I don't say it to be mean either, but I do call people out on there.
You're
like
honest.
If they're being shitty, like, I'm gonna let you know you're being shitty. Like, I'm not here for me, like, friendships. I think that's why, like, our friendship has lasted so long too, is because I feel like my personality and how I talk and things like that, it comes off very like bitchy to some people.
Right.
But like for me, like that's how I would like my friends to be with me. Like if I'm being a fucking bitch, like tell me I'm being a fucking bitch. Like sometimes I don't know what I'm doing or what I'm saying is like hurtful, so you have to let me know. Like I don't like it when friends are just like yes men, you know?
100%.
Like
100%.
I'm doing something bad, like I'm making a bad decision about life or like about anything, and they're just enabling it, like enablers, you know? Even
Right.
though they know that it's a bad decision. Like I would like somebody to tell me like, hey, like just think this through, like maybe you're going the wrong way about, you know what I mean?
I get that.
So that's the type of friend that I am to other people, because that's the type of friend I would like to have.
I think that's pretty on character for what. Back then, though, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I hated being around you sometimes.
Why? What the hell did I do?
Tennessee? Oh my god. I can remember like specifically in Tennessee. Not all the time. I do enjoy being around you, obviously, especially now. But back then, I think you were around a little too much to where I was always constantly getting like kind of annoyed. But we went to Tennessee one time. Every day it felt like it was like a constant battle. I don't remember if you were on your period or not, but it felt like
it was a constant battle because I was stuck with number one and number two. And there was no way for me to get out of it because I had already committed to it. That was literally because me and number two weren't together at that time yet. When we went to Tennessee is when the breakup was still like kind of fresh. So I was stuck in another state in the same hotel doing the same project with guy number one and guy number two. And I had to act like I was cool when I was not cool.
It was a constant battle every day.
Yeah, it was for you. It was a constant battle.
It was a constant battle every day.
I was pissed the fuck off the whole time because number one wouldn't keep.
It definitely makes a lot more sense now. I definitely feel a lot more compassionate, I guess, towards you now because of all that. Because, oh my god. I just remember it just like arguing with you like every day though too. And it makes more sense now though too, because when back then we were just a bunch of guys, but I also felt like sometimes 1 and 2, they were both kind of like leading the pack most of the time.
Oh,
so they
yeah,
wouldn't listen to any ideas from
100%.
all of us, especially from Jen.
100%, because I was the only girl. And
You were the only girl.
That's why I was probably annoying, because I was annoyed.
Yeah, and then it
I
just
was
felt
just getting
like
dragged
we were,
along,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I was honestly like that whole like after, because the project that we were doing for Tennessee was like the last.
Yeah,
Was
that's the world championship
finish line.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything leading up to that was like, the first half was cool, right? Because we were like together and like everything was like still fresh and we were all working together and it was just fine. But the second half, like, I felt like I was just getting dragged along at that point and I was ready for it to be over. I was so ready to get it over with because it was rough. Like I think towards the last few times, if the adults that were like,
the teachers?
yeah, if they weren't there, I wouldn't have. So those last meetings.
I do remember that too, because at that time it was like a lot.
It was a lot, and it was like constantly every day.
Yeah.
Like towards leading up to Tennessee, we were meeting every single day to get stuff ready. And I think that's why it was rough too, because we was just so much time together.
Yeah, we had to go all on that trip together, live together. Like, well, exception of Jen.
Because then after that is like where I feel like the whole group like fell off. We were on a school project trip. It was like an extracurricular.
She had to bunk with teachers.
And then the competition that we were going to was in Tennessee.
Jen did not sleep with the teachers. That was my bad.
But some kids did. Isn't that crazy? Some of our high school.
In our school?
Yeah. A lot, actually. Do you remember?
You know people that actually slept with their teachers? No way.
Yeah, with the sub.
Yeah. Substitute?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's... Oh, and also, I don't think you know girl, but do you remember Mr.
I do.
The biology teacher?
Him?
Yep. Crazy.
That's the guy that was shredded, right? The buff one?
No.
Or was I thinking of someone else?
No, I think that's somebody else. He wasn't that buff, but he was young. He was like fresh out of college.
Okay, no wait, I know who you're
ID.
talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And then also,
IB kids are freaky.
the
dude.
teachers are freaky. Cause the sub, him, and then choir teacher, the woman.
What?
Yeah, she got
That's
fired
crazy.
for a relationship with her
Was she
student.
hot? I remember.
Uh,
I don't remember what the choir teacher looked
I mean,
like.
she wasn't bad looking. Average.
You know what's funny? I
Mm.
followed some of my hot teachers from middle school on Facebook. They're still hot, like this day. They just sometimes pop up on there, but that's crazy, bro. I don't know the teacher thing. I didn't know that.
Did we graduate the same year?
Yeah.
Good.
Pretty sure we're the same age. Unless you're older.
What are you?
Though. March 4th, 1996.
March 4th. Your birthday just passed?
You hung out with me on my 12-hour stream on my birthday. You paid for my dinner that night.
I forgot.
What the fuck?
See, this is why my memory sucks, bro.
Bro.
I forgot. Oh, we went to Gyukaku.
Yeah, it had Japanese barbecue.
Yeah. If I ever argue that I remember something clearly, like
That's obviously a fucking
it's
lie.
a fucking lie. Did
She
you
got
know I
scrambled.
actually have a cyst
In your,
on my head?
do you?
Hmm. That's probably why.
Is it lethal? Can you die from it?
No. I mean, it could be dangerous if it were to pop, but they're not worried about it, which is why we've left it alone, because I found out when I was 15, 16.
Could it be an issue when you get older, though?
I don't know. I haven't gotten it checked since, so...
You should probably go get that checked.
I ain't dead.
Next podcast. All right, guys. Jen died last week. So I gotta keep doing the podcast without her.
That's crazy. Yeah, so I think that's why I have memory issues and stuff. She ain't come back.
Jen's not good at Valorant because of the brain tumor.
Like, yeah. I have a cyst.
It's the
in my
tumor.
brain.
It's acting up.
That's why I suck at games.
Jen's always too stoned, bro.
Not even.
Jen's
I'm just
stoned right now, too.
brain damage. I wish. Oh. Next one, we should eat edibles before.
That would be fucked up. I'm down to do edibles next time, though. I don't know how that's gonna go.
It'll be great. I think it'll be so much fun. Do you miss high school? No?
No. I think high school was fun,
Uh-huh.
but I never liked going to school. I ditched a lot senior year. I think
Me
that
too.
because I had all my credits up until the point of where, like, I think it was my junior year. I basically already had all my credits. Obviously, for the final year, you need to finish. I think I just had one more elective
Mhm.
credit, but I had IB math, even though I wasn't an IB student. So, oh my god, that class was like at the split between where it was the 5 and 6 for lunch, I think it was, right?
Mhm.
We had 5th hour and 6th hour off for lunches.
Yeah.
But you only get one off, and technically you have to go to the class, or if you have an off hour, So that's basically what builds in that block as well. I would always have the 5th period for lunch, and then 6th I would have math class. But I'd always ditch math class, and I'd always just do nothing. Like either play video games with my friends or go to the skate park. And at one point, my teacher like literally pulled me out of lunch, and she's like, "All right, bro, you're coming to class today. I don't give a fuck where you're gonna go after my class, but I'm gonna take you into class today because you're gonna have to at least come one more day so you don't like get in trouble with the school." Because I would fake phone calls
Oh, me
to my
too.
parents
me too.
all the fucking time.
Me too.
But I like at some point I just gave up on trying to do an accent. Like I'd always do like a Vietnamese accent or something in the
Yeah.
beginning, but then at some point I just started doing American, and then it started catching on, and I got in so much trouble because my parents found out and they were about to beat my ass.
I feel like senior year, I did the same thing, but my parents just didn't care at that point. I think everybody just gave up on me senior year because my teachers would see me in the hallway and they would see me ditching because it was like
Same.
after or before their class, and they just stopped like trying to make me go. I ditched so much with Jen that I didn't graduate. Do not. Okay, first of all, don't blame me because
True.
I was also ditching since I was making you ditch. You're just fucking dumb as fuck. Because I passed all my classes.
Henry didn't graduate. I'm fucking dead. I forgot that was like a thing.
I used to let Jen call me in all the time. I was like, senior year, I was the group's mom. Back to back, I would call the school. Literally no change of accent. One after the other. Henry's out sick today. Oh, Jen's also out sick today. How old are
We
you?
graduated 2014.
2014. Old
That
as
means
fuck.
your senior year was in 2019.
I was a junior ditching with seniors. That was my problem.
That's crazy.
Well, there's a price to pay for hanging out with the cool kids, okay? You're welcome.
Ben wasn't that cool. Was dating one of Henry's best friends at the time.
Wait, what?
Weren't you dating?
Guy number 3! I forgot about him. I actually almost forgot about
Oh my god. My boy.
my boy. My man. I almost forgot about him. Wow. That's crazy too, because he was also a big chunk of my high school. Those 3. My whole 4 years of high school were made up of those 3 shitty men.
Yeah.
Except guy number 2. He was actually not shitty.
No, guy number 2.
Great guy.
He was actually
Actually.
a really good person. He's a really
He's
good
a really
person
good
now.
person.
He's still a good
He's
person
still,
now.
yeah, he was a good person then too.
Yeah,
He was raised right. Give him that.
Yeah, no, he's still, yeah, he moved. He was like actually one of the only people that I thought would ever make it out of high school, and he did. And now he's like making hella bank working for like an airline company for like, what is it?
I feel like
Aerospace
he's
engineering.
I feel like he's the only one that like made his dream like his dream, because that was
'cause he had
always
a goal-
his
'cause-
dream.
Yeah, no, that's true because we all get a set plan in our freshman year of high school, obviously.
He was the only one that followed through.
And he's the only one that followed all the way
That's
through with that plan
crazy.
and is doing exactly what he went like sought out to do.
Because he always said that that's what he was gonna do, always, for as long as I can remember. Because we
Yeah.
would like talk about it all the time. He's like, yeah, go to college, gonna get into aerospace, and then I'm gonna do that for work.
And we luckily also had the like a technical school to where he could do aerospace engineering classes.
Ooh, that's right.
And then he actually made it through all the way. He's the only person I knew getting high scores on shit that we weren't supposed to even like pass. Because some of our AP tests, we would get like curves. We'd probably get around like 50% max, like all of like the other kids. But he would be like,
Damn, you're dumb.
it's AP classes. No, they make it to where you're not supposed to pass it.
50%?
Yeah, like in the beginning, like when they first set you in the AP class, they throw you into a test immediately. We do the test, and then you see like on a curve like how far we have to go like as a class together. He was the only person that ever scored like a 90% above.
No, he's. I remember we used to go to Henry's house like every day after school, or like every day during lunch, and his mom would just have food ready for us when we would be ditching and going to his house when we ditched.
Makes a lot of sense. I met Henry's mom recently, and that was a funny meeting. 'Cause
Recently?
Henry was blasted out of his mind. This dude was so
You
fucking
haven't met
drunk.
her? I love.
That was the first time I ever
hate
met
you,
him.
Henry, but love your mom. Send her kisses for me. I
Henry's
miss her.
mom is the funniest person.
I love her.
ever.
She's so cute. I miss high school sometimes.
Do you? What is one thing that you actually miss about it?
That's crazy because it's funny because I say I miss high school, but like when you ask me that, I can't really like
Think of
pinpoint
anything.
what I liked.
Did you enjoy it overall then?
I
that
did,
really what it is?
like besides all the trauma and like shit that happened, I miss like you know, just going to class, being so carefree and not having to like worry really much about anything except for like what you're doing that day. Like that's the best thing. Like now that as an adult and like I have so many responsibilities and like so much shit that I have to get done and do, it makes me miss those days that I could just like
it was a lot easier.
fuck it today, like I'm skipping class, like
High
let's
school
go
was easy as
have
fuck, for
yeah,
sure. It
like
was-
let's go hang out instead, like you know what I mean?
No, that's true.
We
No,
used
I
to
think
go
about
to
that now.
school to meet up just to ditch.
That's funny that you say that because, like, when you think about it, high school was literally a social place
Yeah.
where you just go and hang out with your friends. Really, now as an adult, I don't hang out with any of my friends. Like any of
you're
those
not
friends,
social
yeah,
at
you're
all.
Not social. Like, I think even though I became like more open after high school, I felt like high school was a lot more fun to be around everyone. Because now I don't want to be around anyone. Like if I'm around my friends, yeah, obviously that's cool. But like if you're around in like a group social setting, it was easier for me back then to like be around people as to where now I felt like I got like anxiety because like of the detachment from so many people at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun. High school was fun doing like a bunch of random shit, ditching.
It's just how you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody's always like, "Oh, fuck high school!" Like I didn't like high school, but like, yes, there are parts of high school and people of high school that we obviously don't miss. But
Right.
like general, like that lifestyle of a high schooler, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, it's that thing where like we always like retract or we always like look back on the negative things, but never
Mhm.
really the positives, especially like nowadays. But 100%, high school was fun for us. I felt like some people definitely probably didn't have like the greatest time in high school,
oh,
regardless.
for sure.
I mean, we were kind of like I wouldn't say popular, but we were like very
Like,
social with
Social. We were
people.
friends with everybody.
Yeah, like obviously like my group was like a bunch of skater people, but I also was doing sports and stuff too. So I hung out with some of like the jock people, and then obviously I'm a fucking
What sport did you do?
wrestling, basketball.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were in
football.
wrestling.
Didn't do football for long. I hated football. But I was hanging out with those guys, and obviously I was like a huge fucking Pokemon fan and shit at the time. And like,
Oh, I remember you
all
guys
me,
would bring
yeah.
your binders.
we would always bring the binders, but we would also bring like our fucking Game Boys with us and like battle each other during lunchtime. And like obviously I was hanging out with like everyone imaginable.
Yeah. Same. I was like, because I was in volleyball, dance, and marching band.
Right, yeah. Jen was doing all that too.
I was a nerd.
But then like it felt like nothing was really nerdy for us though either.
Yeah, nothing was.
No one really I
That's-
wouldn't say
I
no
think
one got
that's-
bullied, but not everyone was like
It was way less than it is now. Because I hear high school stories now. Kids are freaking ruthless now. But I feel like
Internet.
when we were in high school, I think that's what it is. Because we didn't even have like. In high school was just when iPhones started to become a thing.
right.
I think it was like iPhone like 3 or 4.
Yeah, the cyberbullying thing wasn't really happening at our school. Most of the time I felt like I was always talking shit. If I was talking shit, it would be to like their face. But like it'd always be like a back and forth kind of thing.
Everybody was cool with everybody. And if you had beef, you would fight it out. Remember the pit?
Bodies.
We had, okay, fun fact. I don't know if it's still up, but we had a YouTube channel for just our fights.
True. That's so
Somebody look up Thornton High School fights.
I don't know if that was. I don't think that's
It
up
might be
anymore.
taken down, but it was called the pit. It was called the pit. One, that's where the fights were happening. Like we would all meet down by the pit and see the fight that's happening. Cause you would like, it's literally just like fucking, like meet me at the flagpole, bitch. Like you got beef with me, like let's settle this type shit. And then like after school, everybody like, yo, you going to the pit? Like, you're going to see so and so fighting. Either that, or you would go down to the pit to buy weed.
It was a smoke spot. Mainly.
It was a smoke spot and the fight.
It was a smoke spot with like a UFC fight from time to time.
Oh, that's how we would like squash. Like there was no like. What do we hear now? Like bullying and like drug problems in high school. Like not just like weed and stuff, but like these high schoolers are getting coke and fentanyl. Like it's actually insane to me.
Yeah, and that shit's kind of crazy now, especially because kids are also like. At first, I think it started with like a bunch of like vapes and shit kids were bringing into school, and now obviously everyone's bringing in like whatever the fuck they want.
Y'all, the reason Thornton was considered.
Y'all,
excuse me. I think I don't feel like I feel like that was the reason though. That our high school was like doable, you know. It was like it was easy to go through high school because I feel like of the demographic.
True.
That was there because it was ghetto. We didn't have they didn't have high standards for us, so it was easy to cruise through. And like, I feel like that's why the people were the way that they were. Like, you got beef, like, let's squash it. Like,
yeah, true.
There was no cyberbullying. There was no like rumor spreading. It was just like, yo, like confrontation right now and settle it.
It was also really weird because like every year we'd have like a pep assembly, but they'd always tell us like how many people graduated the year before. And every time they would say it was never a lot. Like our graduating class was probably one of the biggest ones that the school had at the time. I think it might have gone past that now, but
well, our year was the first year that they actually integrated like IB, because the reason why they made that school have IB was to get their graduation.
What a fucking scam. But like literally it was crazy because like it took forever, I felt like, for our graduation to get through. And like for you and me, like me and Jen have like the same last name, so we had like
it was like a whole page of new wins.
We had like fucking 8-9 other kids with our same last name, and we just sat there. So many.
It was so many. I think the only big problem that we had at our school was like gang. I don't know if you were there for that.
Those guys actually came to the school to kill someone.
They came out of their cars with like bats and crowbars, and I was like, oh hell, fucking! I turned my ass. I started running back into the school. I was like, they are not chasing us into the school.
That shit was crazy because there was kids prior to that. There was other kids that also came from that school to tell us what was gonna happen. Because they came there to warn us, basically. Because.
And we were just bystanding, okay? Like
I was just there after school. It's one of those moments where I was waiting for my friend to fucking.
We were just acquaintances of the people that were starting shit, okay?
I was just
Don't get
standing
it twisted.
There. I was just
we
standing
were not
there,
starting anything with these people because I knew I was gonna get my ass beat.
But yeah, no, they told like because those guys that came from the other school to tell us that they were warning us. I was like, okay, so I mean, you guys told us, right? That means nothing's gonna happen because those guys will probably leave now and not be here. But then everyone was a tough guy back then. All of those guys were so tough. They said pull up to the school.
Pull up. You won't. Like you won't do shit. Like pull up.
And they started immediately running at each other. And then the people from our school started getting chased. And I just saw a bunch of people running through the fucking hallways and shit like that. I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then he's like, they're here.
The fuck away.
They're here. They're gonna fucking kill somebody, bro. And I'm like, dude.
And this was like well after school. So like a lot of the teachers were already gone. So we had to book it to find an adult. We were like, help.
Yeah, it had to at least be like 6 o'clock.
And the cops came. We had to write statements. It was a whole thing.
That shit was crazy though. We had a few bomb threats and hit lists that caused the SWAT team to come.
Oh, bomb threats were normal for us. It was always the Mi Pueblo.
There were gun threats. Yeah, the Mi Pueblo. That place was a little random. But there's this one time. Do you remember that? I think it was our junior year or senior year. It was like the very last day of school. We're about to get out for summer.
Senior year.
Our literal last day of school. we have like we're all in like the last class of the day, and out of nowhere all the lights go off and like the alarms start beeping, and I'm like in gym class. So like they're like, all right, everyone get into the fucking locker rooms, and it smelled like shit in there. We all get inside, and then apparently like the whole SWAT team's coming through the school. We're like the last like area that they get us out. They break through the fucking door, and they're like, all right, everyone single file line. This guy has like an M4 rifle in his hand, leading us out of the school to get onto a bus that leads us off the school campus.
Like the whole, like, you know, the movies that you guys watch, or the video that you watch to show you what to do during a school shooting. They literally had to do that. And it's funny because Henry, Tony, and like we ditched that period. And when we came back, we went to go eat. And when we came back, we were like, what the fuck is like, they didn't let us into the school, obviously, because they blocked off the whole parking lot. So they like shoot us away. Yeah. So we went up to the Brittany Hill.
Yeah, the Brittany Hills.
Yeah, we parked there, and we were just watching because all the SWAT team, they were checking every car, and it was actually insane.
That was so stupid. That was the last day of school, and it was some kid that brought a fake gun.
It was an art project.
Art project, yeah, something stupid like that. I was like, bro, this is literally the last day of fucking school. We have to fucking deal with this.
Wow. So many memories. Oh, those were the days. Wow.
I'm fucking dead. That's so funny.
Hell
I know,
nah.
I know. No worries. I'm more than sure Miss paid for her own wedding ring.
I don't want no scrub. Can't get no love from me.
And your
whole wedding, bitch.
And immigration.
That is a red flag right there. Okay. And immigration.
We love a strong, independent woman.
Oh my gosh,
you a green wedding.
You a green card wife? Oh my god. Plot thickens.
I think she has a green card husband. She paid for the immigration to get him there.
Yeah, exactly. She's the green card wife.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, like he married her for the green card.
Yes.
Dang. I'm sorry, Mischief. That sucks. Canadians are like nice though, right?
Not that one. Apparently not that one. Because that Canadian cheated on her. So that's not a good Canadian.
Oh, I forgot that's how this night started.
We all come full circle, so I think that's a good topic.
We've come full circle. He's kicking me out again.
My IG screenshots, literally. It's that time of the night.
He has to go screenshot some girl's Instagram stories. Please hold. He needs to kick me out so he can go stalk some people.
Hell yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the very first Sweet and Sour podcast.
Catch us again next week.
Next week on Saturday. Probably around the same time. 8:30? Still good for that time?
Huh?
Still good for 8:30?
You said 8:30?
Is that not when we started today?
Yeah, but I was like done way early. Maybe like 7:30 next time.
TBA on the time, but next Saturday.
Stay tuned. We're gonna post the Q&A or
yes, a questionnaire this week of you guys leaving our final or some
our topics
and stuff.
Questions, whatever you guys want to hear or have us talk about. I know.
All right. But thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight, and we will see you guys again next Saturday.
Bye.
Peace.